On a sunsplash, I'm going to redo that one. On a sunsplash 58-degree Friday afternoon, we welcome you to Waterbury Municipal Stadium for a CACC North Division doubleheader. Post and Bloomfield, and we are underway. Logan Pulitano on the mound making his first career start, deals the first pitch ball to Elder Maldonado as we are underway at 11:57 local time in Waterbury. And Pulitano misses inside 2-0. Post kicking off an Easter weekend homestand against the Bloomfield College Bears. Here on the CACC Network, I'm Matt Scalzo. Delighted to have you with me on this Friday in Waterbury. Maldonado waves through the 2-0, and it's 2-1. Two teams in opposite places this season. The Eagles coming off a split on Tuesday against number 14 Jefferson in Philadelphia. Those two games defined by one inning. Maldonado catches a piece, and it's 2-2. Post dropped game one after the Rams played at 11 runs in the first inning en route to a 17-3 win before Post responded in game two with a 14-2 win, aided by a 10-run fourth inning. 2-2 is a touch outside and 3-2. As for Bloomfield, they currently hold the longest active losing streak across all three divisions at the NCAA level in baseball. 43 consecutive losses, and Politano starts game one with a strikeout of Maldonado, and there's one away. Politano has been one of the top arms for Post this season. He holds the lowest ERA on the team at 3.07 coming into today's contest. Deals a first pitch ball to Malachi Jones. Just the first career start for Politano. He's struck out 17, now 18 across 21 and 2/3 inning of work. Opponents are batting .252 against him. As Jones is ahead 2-0, just as Maldonado was in the second at-bat of the game. Jones batting .236 this season. Turns on this, drives it out towards shallow right field. Ranging back and making a leaping catch is Rene Vega for out number 2. Robert Jimenez comes up to bat, the third baseman, batting .157 this season. We'll take a look at the Post defensive alignment. Damaris Rodriguez is out in center field. Dario Sosa flanks him in right, and Hayden Roberge is in left. From first to third around the infield, as the first pitch to Jimenez is outside. Michael Cardona's at first, Rene Vega at second. Jesse Alfala occupies short, and Justin Rivera holds down the hot corner at third. Isaiah Velasco completes the battery with Politano. 1-0, popped up foul ground first base side. It'll land out of play. First meeting between these two since the 2023 season. Bloomfield playing in just 10 games last season. The 1-1. Right at the bottom of the rails. And it's 1-2. Went two-way. Politano looking for a 1-2-3, top of the first. Post got the win in the last meeting. Back on April 27th in 2023, it was a 4-3 win at Bloomfield. That drifts away from Jimenez, and it's 2-2. A 2-2. Breaking ball is upstairs, and the count runs full. Bloomfield as a team is batting .173 this season. Currently sit at 0-30 on the year. 0-20 in conference play. The payoff pitch beneath the knees. It's a 2-out walk to Robert Jimenez. to give Bloomfield its first base runner. Getting on base hasn't been an issue for Bloomfield. They're getting on base over 300 this season. That's the 111th walk of the year drawn by the Bears, but bringing those runner in have been the problem. Just 65 total RBIs this season for Bloomfield. Now steps in Frank Scara. Takes the first pitch strike. Scara, a .247 hitter. Second on the team in batting average, has 8 RBIs this season. Snap throw to first. Just back in ahead of the tag is Jimenez. Cardona back at first base. Missed some time after suffering an injury in Game 1 against Felician. That was on Friday, April 4th, as another throw over to first. Ball bounces away from Cardona. The 0-1 buzzes the tower, and Scara moves out of the way. The DH evens the count at 1-1. Scara went 1 for 4 on Tuesday in Bloomfield's doubleheader against Wilmington. Lost both games by substantial margins, 28-5 in Game 1, 15-1 in Game 2. Runners going, the throw down from Velasco, bounces away, and in safely at second is Jimenez with his 7th stolen base of the season. Count moves to 2-2 with 2 away. A man on second in Jimenez. The 2-2 to Scara. Breaking ball loops away. Full count once again. It's the third full count we've seen in this away half of the first. Maldonado struck out swinging, and then Jimenez drew the walk. Scara, a chopper to the left side of the infield. It bounces off the chest of Alfala. And the inning will continue on an error from Jesse Alfala. And ball that was put in right in between Alfala and Rivera on the left side of the infield. And once it got to the dirt, it just took a higher hop. Alfala couldn't field it cleanly, and this inning continues. Politano starts Joseph Klein with a strike right down the chute. Klein, a 140 hitter, 6 RBIs this season. And Politano continues to attack, painting the outside edge, and it's quickly 0-2. Klein went 0 for 5 on Tuesday across the 2 games against Wilmington. Just 1 hit in his last 6 games. The 0-2. Low in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 away. Scara on first with Jimenez at second. Bloomfield looking to break through in the top of the first inning. Take an early lead against Post. The 1-2. Breaking ball is high. Count is level. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, 2 men on. Swing and a miss. Klein down on strikes. Politano gets his second punch out of the inning and escapes some early traffic on the bases to send us to the bottom of the first, where we'll get our first looks at the post bats when we come back on the CACC Network. Bottom of the first inning from Waterbury Municipal Stadium, we get our first look at the post bats as they face Michael Felumero. The right-hander from Bloomfield comes in 0-5, making his sixth start of the year. Comes in with a 13.32 ERA through 25 and 2/3 innings of work. And starts the leadoff man, Jesse Alfala, with a ball outside. Walks have been the issue for Felumero. 29 walks to just 6 Ks. Opponents are batting .417 against the right-hander. Alfala lifts the 1-0 into shallow center field, drifting back onto the outfield grass and making the grab is the shortstop, Joseph Klein. We'll take a look at this Bloomfield defensive alignment. At first base is Franny Medina with Merqui Erazo at second. Joseph Klein, the shortstop, just making the play, and Robert Jimenez over at third. Andres Frias is in center field with Elder Maldonado in right. And flanking him in left is Malachi Jones. Miguel Burgos is the catcher for Felumero. Brings up Rene Vega, the two-hitter. First pitch sails upstairs. Vega, a .357 hitter this season for post. Bounces around the lineup in the 2 spot today in game 1. Jammed inside, floats this off the end of the bat in towards left field, and it is down for a fair ball. Turning around first, and he slides in safely at second with a 1-out double. Just the second extra base hit of the season for Vega. And that was flared off the end of the bat in towards left field. Jones could not get over there in time, and Vega quickly in scoring position for post, looking to strike first in the bottom half of this first inning. Damaris Rodriguez, the top hitter on this post side, .431 average, has driven in 27 runs. Takes the first pitch off speed in the heart of the zone. 0-1. The 0-1 fastball catches the top of the zone and it's quickly 0-2 against Rodriguez. Rodriguez was 4 for 7 in the doubleheader against Jefferson on Tuesday. The 0-2 takes it high and away. Count goes to 1-2. Rodriguez was named CACC Player of the Week at the end of March and continues to be one of the more potent hitters in the conference. Snap throw back to second. Vega lunges ahead. Klein nowhere near the bag, just wanted to make sure it didn't go into center field. Post the third best hitting team in the conference. The 1-2, Rodriguez pulls it foul. As for Bloomfield, sitting in the bottom of the conference, as you would expect, they are a worst pitching team this season, as a team holding a 15.64 ERA. It has been a tough year for the Bears. Throw back to second. Vega is in safely, and Klein was covering the bag this time. The throw nearly got away. Had to reach over the sliding Vega to make sure it didn't pop out into center field. The 1-2 to Rodriguez, and he catches a piece of the breaking ball, sending it back into the fence behind home plate. Palumero in his freshman season, the 1-2 breaking ball, a touch above the zone, 2-2. Native of Staten Island. His last appearance came on the 13th of April, 5 days ago. It's against Felician. Gave up 7 runs all earned on 9 hits across 5 1/3 innings pitched. And Rodriguez has worked backwards to push the count full, with 1 out and Rene Vega in scoring position at second base. The payoff pitch is inside, and Rodriguez works a 1-out walk to put 2 runners on for post in the home half of the first. Rodriguez continues to get on base at a exponential clip. Coming into today was getting on base at .540, top hitter in the CACC in terms of average, second in on-base percentage, just behind Justin Egner of Jefferson, and now sets the table for Isaiah Velasco. Clips the first pitch back. Velasco was named East Region Player of the Week, first post player to receive that honor since 2023. The wins against Holy Family and Bridgeport, Velasco batted .692 last week, going 9 for 13 with 6 RBIs. And the Sunday doubleheader sweep a week ago against Bridgeport, he was a perfect 7 for 7, 4 RBIs. Eagles winning 11-6 and 2-0. The 1-1 bounces away from the catcher Burgos, but not too far as both runners hold. However, against Jefferson, Velasco struggled, just going 1 for 7 across the 2 games. Had his 8-game hitting streak snapped in Game 2. The 2-1 laid on the fastball, 2-2. Velasco second on the team with 30 RBIs this season for post. 2-2, jammed inside and fights it off. Another 2-2 and another foul ball from Velasco. It's a tough post team to strike out in the bottom 4 of the conference in terms of at least strikeouts. They're 4th overall, just striking out 221 times this year. That 2-2 slips out of the hand of Felumero, and that is way outside. Another full count, this time to Velasco. Rodriguez walked on a full count just a batter ago. The last 2 have reached for post after Alfala flew out. This is a towering pop-up lifted out towards shallow center field. Klein moves back, and once again he's able to make the ground for out number 2. Both outs have been pop-outs to Joseph Klein at shortstop for Bloomfield, as Justin Rivera steps up after that long battle between Felumero and Velasco. Rivera batting .341 this season, has a team-leading 35 RBIs. That's good for 8th overall in the CACC this season. Pulls this on the left side, snagged by the third baseman Jimenez. He goes to second, and the inning is over. So both teams escaping a pair of base runners on the base paths. We head to the second, scoreless between Post and Bloomfield on the CACC network. Into the second inning, same score as when we started, 0-0 between Bloomfield and Post on this sunny Friday afternoon in Waterbury, a doubleheader between Post and Bloomfield. Eagles looking to make it 2 wins in a row, while Bloomfield still in search of its first win of the season and first win since May 3rd, 2023, when they took down Jefferson 12-11. They made the CACC tournament that year, but since that win, it's been 43 consecutive losses, the longest active streak at the NCAA level for baseball. And starting off the second inning, getting on base, is Andres Frias. Had a ground ball to Alfala, and he couldn't field it cleanly. Go down as the second error against Alfala in as many innings. Brings up Franny Medina, the first baseman. Swings on the first pitch, grounds it to Alfala. On the charge, and once again, Alfala not able to scoop it up. That is back-to-back errors for Jesse Alfala, and 3 total to start this game. Alfala has had 3 ground balls hit to him. All have been ending in errors. And Bloomfield quickly has 2 runners on in Medina and Frias. As Miguel Burgos, the catcher, comes up to bat. Burgos just 2 for 23 this season. Takes the ball down and away for the opening pitch of the at-bat. One of his 2 hits is a home run this season. Downstairs once again from Politano, and it's 2-0. And Politano misses down and in once again. And it's now 3-0. Burgos was 0 for 2 against Wilmington on Tuesday, but 5 days ago against Felician, he was 1 for 3, including a 3-run home run. He was taken all the way, even moved out of the box on the 3-0. And now the 3-1 from Politano is low, and Bloomfield has loaded the bases with nobody out in the top of the second inning. Politano has struggled to find the zone. Has had to deal with a lot of long at-bats. And Bloomfield also aided by the 2 errors of Jesse Alfala that put Frias and Medina on base. Brings up the 9-hitter. And Merqui Erazo swings on the first pitch and fouls it off left field line. Erazo listed as a pitcher, does both things, and has really just started to get at-bats this week. Went 1 for 7 against Wilmington on Tuesday in his first 7 at-bats of the year. Laid on both of the first 2 pitches, and it's 0-2. He's made 10 appearances with 4 starts on the mound. The 0-2. This is driven in towards left field, and it'll drop in for a base hit. Bloomfield strikes first as Erazo picks up his 2nd RBI of the season and his 2nd hit of the year. And the Bears strike first. Everyone moves up another 90 feet, and the bases stay loaded with nobody out as it flips back to the top of the order with Elder Maldonado. First hit of game 1 for Bloomfield. As Politano fires in a first pitch strike to Elder Maldonado. Screams of wake up coming from the post dugout. The 0-1, a towering pop-up that will stay on the infield. Cardona moving over towards the pitcher's mound will make the grab for out number 1 as Maldonado will head back to the dugout. Two errors, a walk, and then the RBI single from Erazo. Jones waves through the first pitch fastball from Politano, and it's 0-1. Post in double play depth up the middle with Vega and Alfala. Corners are in with Cardona and Rivera. 0-1 from Jones is lifted straight back. Oh, 2 high and outside. Velasco Looks the runner at third back in Medina. The 1-2. Brushes it inside, and Jones moves out of the way. 2-2 with one away. Arazo at first, Burgos at second. Medina at third. The 2-2. Check swing from Jones. Catches a piece and pushes it foul third base side. No shift on in the outfield, but Sosa and Roberge playing close to their respective foul lines in right and left, so big alleyways in the gaps. Jones finds a gap on the left side of the infield. And coming in to score is Medina. And Bloomfield makes it 2-0 in the top of the second. Jones, an excuse-me swing, fights it the other way and finds a gap between Alfala and Rivera. And now we'll have a mound visit in the top of the second. Bloomfield plating 2 runs thus far against Logan Politano, making his first career start. Has come all out of the bullpen in his freshman season and has been very strong for Post, and in this stretch of games for the Eagles that has had them play a lot of games in a short period of time. Had a doubleheader Sunday against Bridgeport and then one on Monday, closing out that series against the Purple Knights. And then, as I said, Tuesday, that doubleheader against the 14th-ranked Jefferson Rams. 6 games, 3 days. Got the last 2 days off. But still a lot of arms trying to get back into full strength. This will be a by-committee day, and not sure for Post if there was coming in a little lazy, expecting it just to be an easy walkthrough against the winless Bloomfield Bears, who have not won since May 3rd, 2023. Longest active losing streak at any level across NCAA baseball at 43 straight games. Previously held by Yeshiva and Lehman. They obviously played last week in a thrilling split of a doubleheader, snapping both of their extended losing streaks. Yeshiva losing 100 games in a row. Lehman was up at the 44-43 range. 0-2 count to Robert Jimenez. Bases juiced, one away. The 0-2 line back up the middle and down for a base hit. Motoring in is Burgos. Serrazo turns the corner and he darts in. A 2-run single from Robert Jimenez, and it's 4-0 Bloomfield in the top of the second. Back-to-back RBI base hits from Bloomfield. And for Jimenez, that's RBI number 6 and 7 on the season. First pitch catches the outside corner to Frank Scara. He reached on an error from Jesse Alfala in the first, but was left stranded on the bases. 0-1 bounces in the dirt. 1-1. Both of the first 2 batters reaching in this inning came on an error against Alfala. Then the walk of Burgos loaded the bases. 1-1's low. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 away. And then Arazo with the RBI single. A pop out of Maldonado, and then back-to-back RBI base hits from Jones and Jimenez. This is a seeing eye single up the middle. Alfala stops it, flips to second for 1. The turn to first is not in time. The scoop could not be made by Cardona. Alfala avenging a couple of his miscues with that nice sliding stop, but Vega could not spin it to first, and Cardona wasn't able to come up with the pick. puts runners on the corners with 2 away. Jones is over at third, and Scarra will take his place over at first, or will take the place of Jimenez at first on the fielder's choice. Joseph Klein now comes up. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Jones 90 feet away from making a 5-0 Bloomfield lead. As Klein takes that upstairs. Count evens at 1-1 with 2 away. Scarra at first, Jones at third, Klein. Rockets 1 foul, first base side. The 1-2. Klein lifts it up, foul ground, first base side. Cardona will run out of room. Count stays where it is. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away, 2 runners on. Bloomfield with a 4-run top of the second. Jones is at third and Scarra is at first. The 0-30 Bloomfield Bears throwing the first punch against Post. 1-2's in the dirt. Both runners hold as it bounced away from Velasco. Klein, another foul ball. First base side. Two balls and 2 strikes. Politano looking to get out of this disastrous second inning, and he does. Klein down looking, but Bloomfield with a big 4-run second inning. They head to the bottom half of the second in front over Post here on the CACC Network. Into the bottom of the second, 6, 8, and 7 due up for Post. They trail 4-0 after Bloomfield plates 4 runs in the top of the second, all of them unearned, aided by 3 Post errors. Bloomfield in front, and now they look to lean on their pitching staff that has not been all that strong this season as Post looks to break through. And what has been a sluggish start to Game 1 as Michael Felumero deals a first pitch strike to Hayden Roberge, the left fielder batting .303 with 21 RBIs. The 0-1. Roberge sends it in the air, right field. Maldonado waves everyone off, and he makes the grab for out number 1. Sets the table for Jalen Kelly, DH, 278 hitter. Has been struggling a little bit, but has started to find his groove once again. He went 3 for 8 on Tuesday against Jefferson, 5 for 14 over his last 5 games. And Kelly with the long sleeves, it looks like he's even got a ski mask on, which is surprising considering this is one of the nicest days it has been so far this spring. My Apple Watch says it's 61 degrees currently. Just maybe some few remains of some clouds. It is a picture-perfect day, some would say, as Kelly takes the 1-1 inside. Expected to be even warmer tomorrow, although some potential showers in the afternoon. 2-1. Kelly lifts it out of play, 2-2 with 1 gone. Not sure what it has been with Post after that 4-run top of the second from Bloomfield, if there was some complacency coming into this 4-game homestand on Easter weekend against a team that has now picked up a win in almost two full years. As Kelly drives this in the air, left center field. Moving over is Frias. He's got the catch, and there's 2 quick outs in the home half of the second. Post with just 1 hit, then a double from Rene Vega in the second at bat for Post. And then Rodriguez reached on a walk, put 2 runners on with 1 gone, but the Eagles couldn't muster together any offense to break the ice. Instead, it was Bloomfield taking advantage of miscues from the Eagles as Cardona takes the first pitch ball outside. Cardona did not play in either game with a doubleheader against Jefferson. The 1-0 drifts outside, and it's 2-0. Breaking ball is out of the zone. 3 balls, no strikes. Cardona played in all 4 games against Bridgeport, starting 3 of them in his return to the field after exiting after just 1 at-bat of the Felician game. Got hurt in the field. That was just 1 batter into the entire game after he collided with Justin Rivera. But Cardona reaches on a 4-pitch walk with 2 away. Puts a runner on for Post as the 9-hitter Dario Sosa comes to the plate. The right fielder, a .246 hitter with a home run and 9 RBIs. Snap throw to first. Cardona back in ahead of the tag. Sosa was 2 for 7 against Jefferson. He's 5 for his last 19 across the last 5 games. Takes that down and away, and it's quickly 2-0. All right, at the bottom of the zone, 1-1 on the off speed from Phil Umero. Throw over to first, and Cardona safely in ahead of the tag. Slight shift on to the left side of the infield. Klein has his heels on the outfield grass as the righty Sosa takes the 1-1 away. 2-1 breaking ball. Loops away from Sosa, and he's in the driver's seat, 3-1. Velumero walked Cardona on 4 pitches. Here comes the 3-1. That gets away from the catcher Burgos. Scampers over to pick it up as Cardona goes to second, and we'll stop there. As now there's 2 runners on, back-to-back walks forced by the bottom 2 hitters for Post, and Cardona and Sosa sets a table for Jesse Alfala, who has had a tough start in the field. 3 errors by Alfala thus far. He's 0 for 1. Popped out to the shortstop Klein to kick off the bottom of the first. One-0 paints the outside edge. 1-1. He's got Sosa at first, Cardona at second. The 1-1 to Alfala hits him. And the bases are now loaded for Post here in the bottom half of the second. Brings up Rene Vega, who is a lone Post hitter with a hit the first time through the order. As we'll now get a mound visit from his Bloomfield coaching staff. Head coach is John Brock. He goes by JJ. And assistant coaches John Downey, Fabio Milano, Gary Puente, and Wayne Richardson, the staff for Brock in his second season with Bloomfield. Came in after the 2023 season where Bloomfield reached the CACC tournament, got swept by Felician in the first round matchup. Still in search of his first win with the Bears. First pitch to Vega is outside from Velumero. He's got nowhere to put Vega with Alfala at first, Sosa at second, and Cardona at third with the bases loaded. Bloomfield trying to hold a lead. Post looking to strike back after that 4-run top of the second inning, where Bloomfield took advantage of the Alfala errors before stringing together some RBI base hits, highlighted by the 2-run single from Robert Jimenez. (2-0) in the zone from Velumero. Gets back in the count against Vega. Picked up a double in the first inning, just his second extra base hit on the season. 2-1. Vega fouls it off left field line. Was jammed inside and just flared one off the end of his bat. Down the left field line, landed in foul ground, went bouncing into foul ground as Jones had to race over to pick it up. And Vega slid in safely for the double. 2-2 well outside. Good stop by Burgos, lunging to his left. Count runs full with 2 away. Nowhere to put him. Velumero has to challenge Vega. Payoff pitch with 2 away is low, and Vega walks in the first run of the afternoon for Post as Cardona comes in, and the Eagles are on the board. th RBI of the season for Vega. He's reached base both times today, is now the top hitter in terms of average. Damaris Rodriguez comes up for Post. Represents the go-ahead run in this situation. He does have a home run on the season. batting .431 this season. The 1-0, Rodriguez, chopper first base side, snagged by Medina. He will take it to the bag, and the inning is over. So post plates won as Cardona scored on the walk from Vega, but that is all the Eagles get as they leave the bases loaded. We head to the third. Bloomfield in front, 4-1. Top of the third inning from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Bloomfield. And the away half of the third, Logan Pulitano heads back out on the mound. He's had a adventurous first 2 innings on the mound in his first career start. And third inning starts more the same. A leadoff single for Andres Frias. He reaches base for the second time today. He kick-started that 4-run second inning, reaching on an error against Alfala. Now he lines one over the head of the leaping shortstop. Brings up Franny Medina, first baseman. Also reached on an Alfala error. He came in to score along with Frias, along with the next 2 hitters that could come up for Bloomfield in this third inning. Throw to first as Frias dive in ahead of the tag. Fourth hit given up by Politano. Runner going. Swing and a miss on the throw, and then the throw down from Velasco is late as Frias picks up a stolen base. That is his 9th of the season, leads the team for Bloomfield, and he wasted no time. Hit and run was on as Medina swang through the opening pitch to the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Two uncomfortable swings from Medina. Didn't look comfortable or confident in either of those hacks. Politano throws it back to second. Frias in safely even before the throw. Politano stepped off, looked him over, and then fired one back to Vega. The 0-2. Outside. Gets past Velasco. Frias moves up another 90 feet. Wild pitch against against Politano sends Frias to third, and now he's 90 feet away from stretching that advantage back up to 4. Politano goes outside once again, and Velasco slides over to make this stop. Politano came into this inning with 59 pitches. 2-2. Skips in the dirt once again. And now Medina working backwards. Fell in an 0-2 hole. And now it runs full. Payoff pitch. Catches the outside corner. Medina doesn't like it. He goes down looking. Fourth strikeout for Politano. And he gets a big first out in this third inning. Trying to strand Frias over at third. Miguel Burgos now comes up. Worked a walk his first time around in the second. Takes a first pitch strike on the outer edge. Burgos came in to score on the 2-run single from Robert Jimenez. Made it a 4-0 Bloomfield lead. Burgos waves through the 0-1. The 0-2. And Burgos chops it foul third base side. Bloomfield hasn't been in many tight games this season. Last time they weren't run ruled was game 1 against Lincoln on April 9th, 9 days ago. Fell 10-4 against Lincoln, who was the second worst team in the CACC. 2-24, bottom of the South Division. The 1-2 outside. Burgos was calling for time ahead of that pitch and didn't get it. Didn't matter. Ball missed down and away. Count levels up at 2-2 with one gone. Frias is over at third. Led off with a single in this third. Stole second and then advanced on a wild pitch. 2-2. Catches the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts for Politano, both by the looking variety. He's up to 5 strikeouts on the afternoon. And now near Cui Arazo, the second baseman, comes up. First pitch fastball. Just beneath the knees, 1-0. Arazo is 1 for 1, an RBI single that opened the scoring in the the away half of the second. Catches a piece, and it's 1-1. He drove in Frias, who's over at third. Looking to replicate that same success here. Push the advantage back up to 4 runs. Arazo in the air. Left field, Roberge makes the grab, and that will end the inning. Frias led off with a base hit, got all the way over to third with nobody out, but he couldn't come home as Politano shuts the door as we head to the bottom of the third. 4-1, the lead for Bloomfield over Post. Bottom of the third inning, Bloomfield in front 4-1 over Post in game one of this Friday afternoon doubleheader on a beautiful sunny Friday afternoon in Waterbury. Isaiah Velasco leads off in the bottom of the third for Post, trailing by 3 runs against the winless Bloomfield Bears, who hold the longest active losing streak at any level as Velasco turns on the first pitch, sends it high in the air, right center field. The wind's blowing in, and able to get over there is Andres Frias for out number 1. Velasco put a charge into 1 high in the air, but wind has not been blowing out as it normally is at Waterbury Municipal Stadium. First pitch is a strike to Justin Rivera. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Eagles in this third inning. Brought their first run in on an RBI walk from Rene Vega in the second inning. Post had the bases loaded, but after the walk couldn't bring anything in. Loaded those with 2 outs, and not a recipe for success even against a team like Bloomfield that has had its struggles pitching. The 1-0. Rivera, sharply hit ground ball, snagged on the backhand by Klein, and he airmails the throw to first. Goes out of play, so Rivera will advance over to second. Klein has made a couple of nice plays in the field on fly balls, but tested for the first time on a ground ball, and that did not go to plan. Runner in scoring position for Hayden Roberge. Takes the first pitch ball down and away. Felumaro steps off the mound, and ushers Rivera back to second. One breaking ball loops high, and it's 2-1. Felumaro threw 48 pitches through 2 innings. 2 balls, no strikes. Runner on second, and Rivera from the stretch. Down and away. 3 balls, no strikes. Shift is on against Roberge. First baseman Medina well off the line at first. A 3-0 is high, and Roberge works the 1-out walk, puts runners on first and second for Jalen Kelly. Kelly is 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field. Kelly's been held hitless in 5 of his last 7 games. Takes the first pitch off speed, 0-1, right on the inner half. But in the other 2 games of the last 7, Kelly has put together a pair of multi-hit and multi-RBI contests, but has not been able to find that consistency this season. The 0-1 outside from Felumaro. The 1-1 catches the outer half. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. Roberge is at first, Rivera at second. Post still with just one hit. The double in the bottom of the first from Rene Vega. The rest of the base runners have reached via walk, hit by pitch, or in Rivera's case, an error. That bounces past Burgos. Rivera and Roberge advance another 90 feet. Both now in scoring position for Jalen Kelly. Count even, 2-2, one gone. Right side of the infield comes in with Medina and Arazo. The 2-2 breaking ball drops off the plate and is outside as well. Full count to Kelly. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout. Payoff pitch is low. Another walk from Felumero, back-to-back free passes. Loads the bases for the second consecutive inning for Post. The sixth walk issued by Felumero. As Michael Cardona looks to move Post just a little bit closer. First pitch turns on it, flies in the air, center field. Frias over to left center field gap, makes the grab. Tagging is Rivera. The throw comes into third. There's no contest at the plate as Cardona brings in Rivera on the sac fly for his 13th RBI of the season. And Post cuts the lead in half. They trail 4-2 in the bottom of the third. So at the very least for Post, they cut into the deficit with another run. Can't come away empty-handed with the bases loaded. Can never do that, especially with one out. That's something you never want to have as a baseball team. As Sosa fans on the first pitch. Second one comes in from Felumero. That gets past Burgos to the backstop. And Roberge and Kelly move up 90 feet. As Felumero finds himself in a very similar situation. Runners now on second and third. Working against the 9-hitter in Sosa. The 1-1. Gets past Burgos. Here comes Roberge to the plate. There's no play. And Post is within one. Back-to-back wild pitches from Felumero. Puts Jalen Kelly 90 feet away from tying it up. Roberge worked a walk and then advanced all the way around the bases, aided by 3 wild pitches from Michael Felumero. 2-1. Bounces into Sosa, and it's 3-1. The top of the Post order looming on deck with Sosa and a 3-1 count. The 3-1 to Sosa. Takes it outside and it catches the edge of the plate. Full count with 2 away. Payoff pitch. Gets past Burgos. Kelly to the plate. We're tied at 4. Another wild pitch from Felumero. Evens us up at 4 as Sosa works his second walk. And Bloomfield will be heading to the bullpen as Phil Yumero will depart after 2 2/3 innings of work. His offense gave him a 4-run lead and struggled to find the zone. 6 walks and a multitude of wild pitches. Brings the lefty out of the bullpen. We'll get you who it is and everything you need to know when we come back on the CACC Network. Matthew Rao out of the bullpen for Bloomfield inherits a runner on first. 2 away in a now 4-4 ball game as Michael Felumero dealt with troubles with walks and wild pitches that has brought Post right back in it. Just giving up 1 hit to Rene Vega, but Felumero gives up 7 walks and through plethora of wild pitches in this 3rd inning that scored Hayden Roberge and Jalen Kelly to tie the game at 4. Rao comes in facing the top of the order as Jesse Alfala takes a strike, and the count is evened at 1-1. Rao making his 13th appearance. He's 0-1 on the year with a 16.20 ERA. Throws one over to first, a little high, and Medina reaches past Sosa. Rao has thrown 16.2 innings, giving up 35 runs, 30 of those earned on 31 hits. He has 4 strikeouts to 16 walks. The 1-1, a big swing and a miss from Alfala, might have just caught a piece of it. Either way, the count moves to 1-2 with 2 gone. Opponents are batting .413 against the lefty. Looks over at Sosa at first. Sosa goes on the 1-2. Burgos will not throw down to second, as Sosa is in with a stolen base, his first of the season. Middle infielders of Arazo and Klein, neither of them went over to cover the second base bag, and Burgos just had to eat it as the count moves to 2-2. And the breaking ball loops back over the plate, but it's down low in the dirt. Full count, 2 outs. Alfala jammed inside, sends a squibbler towards Medina at first. He'll take it to the bag himself, and the inning is over, but Post brings 3 runs across, helped by some errors and wild pitches. It's 4-4 through 3 from Waterbury Municipal Stadium on the CACC Network. Top of the fourth inning, 4-4, the score between Bloomfield and Post on the CACC Network. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, delighted to have you with me on a sunny Friday afternoon in Waterbury, Connecticut. First of two games between Post and Bloomfield. And then another doubleheader tomorrow. A 4-game homestand on Easter weekend for Post against the Bears of Bloomfield. And Logan Pulitano back out on the mound, and he deals a first pitch strike to Elder Maldonado. Third time through the order for Pulitano. Maldonado, the leadoff hitter, 0 for 2 thus far. Lifts one in the air. Right field, Sosa charging, and he's able to make the grab for out number 1. Rene Vega was racing back as well, but at the last moment, Sosa able to call off Vega, darting in front of him, and he's able to make the grab for out number 1. Brings up Malachi Jones, who is 1 for 2 with an RBI. Swings on the first pitch. Dribbler up the middle. Alfala fields, and he throws high to first. The fielding errors for Jesse Alfala continue. That is his 4th error. The other 3 had been fielding errors. That one a throwing error. He squatted down right after he threw it, but his head in his glove. And just these types of plays are not what you're used to seeing from Post, especially from Alfala. As Pulitano puts the first pitch ball down low to Robert Jimenez. Reached on a walk and then had the 2-run single back in the second. He pushed the Bloomfield advantage up to 4-0, and Bloomfield has now surrendered 4 unanswered runs from Post. Evens it 4-4, and the count even at 1-1 as Jimenez cuts and misses. Jones over at first, 4 for 4 on stolen bases this season. Fastball from Pulitano, high 2-1. Bouncer foul, third base side off the bat of Jimenez. Pulitano looking for a quick inning after his offense was able to score 3 runs, helped out by some wild pitches and an error from Joseph Klein. 2-2 in the dirt. Velasco with the block. Full count with 1 away. Jones over at first. Frank Scara stands on deck. And 3-2. Driven out towards foul ground, right field. Sosa on the move into the bullpen. And he's able to make the grab for out number 2. A long run for Dario Sosa. Gets there in time for out number 2. Brings up Frank Scara. Scara is 0 for 2. Reached on an error in the first and then on a fielder's choice in the second. Off the mark on the first pitch to him from Pulitano. The 1-0. Scara waves through. The 1-1. Scara out towards right field. Sosa's had a busy inning, and he's been there to make all 3 plays 3 flyouts to Dario Sosa. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Even at 4 between Post and Bloomfield on the CACC Network. Two, 3, and 4 due up for Post in Rene Vega, Damaris Rodriguez, and Isaiah Velasco. In the bottom of the 4th inning, tied at 4 between Post and Bloomfield. Matthew Rouse heads out for his first full inning of work. Came in relief with 2 gone in the bottom of the 3rd, replacing Michael Filumero, who went 2 2/3, giving up 4 runs, one of those earned on 1 hit. Struck out nobody but walked 7 Post hitters. The 1-0 to Vega is high and outside. Quickly 2-0 to Vega, who's gotten on base both times today, a double and a walk. He drove in a run on the walk. 5'7" second baseman is a tough out. Getting on base above 470, came into today at a 471 clip, and after getting on base both of his first 2 times today, that has been a slight uptick in percentage. Two-one. Vega cuts and misses 2-2. Vega extended his hitting streak to 11 games with that double in the first inning, and his RBI streak after that walk that brought in a run is now 3 consecutive games for Vega. 2-2. High and outside, and the count runs full. Payoff pitch. Vega turns it foul. If there's a part of the Post order that you want to set the table, this is probably it, with Vega leading off. Flares one off the end of the bat into foul ground. Medina is there, and he makes the grab for out number 1. First time Vega will head back to the dugout. And it brings up Damaris Rodriguez. Came into today leading the CACC in batting average. Reached on a walk and then grounded out to end the 2nd inning on his 2 trips to the plate today. Loops outside from Rouse, and it's 1-0. He stamps the outside edge, and it's 1-1. Rodriguez, the engine of this post offense, getting on base, and he's got tons of speed as well, leading the team in stolen bases. Takes it down and away, 2-1. Post came out a little sluggish out of the gates, struggled to get its offense going, and then we've touched on the defensive troubles for Jesse Alfalla with 4 errors. Had back-to-back errors in the second inning to open up the away half. And then Bloomfield loaded the bases and had next 3 of their 4 hitters drove in runs, all on base hits. Put the Bears in front 4-0. Post got one back on the RBI walk from Vega in the second, and then in the third, Joseph Klein, the shortstop, had an error for Bloomfield, and Michael Felumero dealt a multitude of wild pitches that brought in Aiden Roberge and Jalen Kelly. This one's pulled on the ground and splits through the 5-6 hole. Rodriguez with a base hit. Was thinking 2 before slamming on the brakes coming around first. Has his first hit of the day, and it comes with 1 gone in the home half of the 4th. Brings up Isaiah Velasco, who's 0 for 2 and is 1 for his last 9 after a superb week last week that saw him pick up East Region Player of the Week honors. First post player to, at least position player to do it since 2023. That pitch gets away and goes all the way to the backstop. Rodriguez was going. Now he's digging for third. The throw comes in late. Stolen base, and then advancing to third on the wild pitch is Rodriguez. He stands 90 feet away from giving Post its first lead of the day. And so Velasco will now deal with the infield moving in. The 1-0, Velasco shoots it out towards left center field. Long run, and it is off the base of the wall. Velasco motors around second on his way to third. He dives in safely. An RBI triple, and Post takes its first lead of the day. The East Region Player of the Week picking up right where he left off. Makes it 5-4 Post. His 31st RBI of the season and his 5th triple of the year. 17th extra base hit, and then it leads the way by a big margin for Post. He got all of that one going the other way. Was about a foot away from sending it over the wall in left center field. And now Justin Rivera looks to build the advantage for Post. Grounds it foul, third base side, and he's quickly behind 0-2. The 0-2 high and outside to Rivera. Rivera started that 3-run third inning for Post, reached on an error, advanced to second on the throwing error from Klein that sailed over the first baseman's head. 1-2's in the dirt, scooped by Burgos. Velasco holds where he is. Rivera then advanced to third on a wild pitch and was driven in on a sac fly from Michael Cardona. Rivera, chopper to first. Medina looks the runner back, and Velasco takes it to the bag himself, And there's 2 away. A smart play by Franny Medina gives Bloomfield its second out in the bottom of the 4th, and more importantly, keeps it at a 1-run deficit. Fielding that on a high hop and instantly looked over to make sure Velasco was holding over at third before heading to first for the second out. Brings up Hayden Roberge, takes the looping breaking ball outside for ball 1. Roberge in the driver's seat, 2-0. A 2-0 from Rouse is high 3-0. A 3-0 loops it into the bottom of the zone. 3-1. The 3-1 is high, and Roberge puts runners on the corners with 2 away. His second walk of the day. And Jalen Kelly now comes up for the 3rd consecutive inning. Flew out to center in the second and then reached on a walk and eventually scored after 3 wild pitches in the 3rd. And time is called by Burgos. Now, more time for Burgos. Looks like he might have had something in his eye. As Kelly settles into the box. Roberge is over at first, held on to by Medina. Velasco at third after the RBI triple gave Post its first lead of the afternoon. Kelly takes a fastball high and outside for ball 1. Patience has been the name of the game for Post. They've worked 8 walks, haven't struck out once. As that is outside once again from Rouse. And there will be a mound visit for Bloomfield. Rouse, coming into this at-bat, came in with 31 pitches through his 1 inning of work. Tyre Infield comes in as well. Bloomfield in the all-black road uniforms. Black hat with a red bill and the Bear logo on the center. Post in the home white uniforms. Orange cap. Roberge at first. Velasco at third. The 2-0. Big swing and a miss from Kelly. 2-1. Kelly with a pair of home runs. That is tied for the team high with Justin Rivera for Post. Two 2-1. High and away. 3 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. Bottom of the fourth, Post taking its first lead on the RBI triple from Velasco. He's still over at third. Runners going on the 3-1. That catches the top of the zone. Or it was rather just Roberge that was going, but he's able to swipe second base. Fourth stolen bag of the year for Roberge. And now the count runs full to Kelly. Base is open for Rouse if he can't find the zone. Payoff pitch. Kelly pops it up. This will stay on the infield. Medina calls everybody off, and he makes the grab for out number 3. But Post brings one in. The RBI triple from Isaiah Velasco drives in Rodriguez, and Post takes its first lead of the day. It's 5-4 Eagles heading to the 5th. We're through 4 from Waterbury Municipal Stadium, and it's a 5-4 Post lead over Bloomfield. Game 1 of 2 on this Friday afternoon doubleheader to open up Easter weekend. 2 teams will do it all over again at this very spot tomorrow afternoon. Logan Pulatano still on the mound and fires one down in the dirt for a first pitch ball to Joseph Klein. The shortstop leads off in this away half of the 5th. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Bears. 1-0 catches the outer part of the plate, 1-1. Politano has had some adventurous innings of work, but has settled down over the last 2 innings. 1-1 from Klein, lifted out right field line, and it'll land out of reach for Michael Cardona. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Klein's 0 for 2. He has struck out both times up. One swinging and the other looking. Politano with 5 Ks in his first career start for Post. One, 2, down and away, 2-2. 2-2, swing and a miss. Klein down on strikes for the 3rd time today. 6th strikeout for Logan Pulatano, and there's 1 gone in the top of the 5th inning. Brings up Andres Frias, who has reached base both times today, and now he's reached base all 3 times he's come up, wasting no time for the 2nd at-bat in a row. Back-to-back base knocks for the center fielder. Puts a runner on with 1 away. The lone batter that Pulatano is yet to retire Frias reached on an error, scored in the second, then led off the third with a single, stole second, advanced the third on a wild pitch. Politano, wary of his speed, snapped the throw over to first. But he was left stranded there in the third. Picked up his 9th stolen base of the season. Last time on the base paths. And he darts back in ahead of the tag from Cardona on the pickoff attempt for Politano. He takes another 2-step lead. Cardona holding on to him. And once again, another throw over. And Frias again in safely. Franny Medina is up, and he waves through the first pitch fastball elevated in the zone from Politano. He was quick to the plate. Didn't want to give Frias a chance to time him up. And there's another throw over. A 4th time that Politano has thrown over to Frias. He represents the tying run for Bloomfield in this 5th inning. And once again, Politano sets quickly and fires in. Doesn't want to give Frias any time to get set and use his speed to get over to second. Frias goes on the 1-1. The throwdown from Velasco is in time. A strike from Isaiah Velasco, and Frias is gunned down for the second out of the inning. A long battle of wits between Politano and Frias. Multiple pickoff throws. It was 4 or 5 from Politano before Frias tried his luck, and Velasco made him pay. Doing it both offensively and defensively is Isaiah Velasco. The go-ahead RBI triple to drive in Rodriguez in the 4th. Now he catches Frias stealing here in the 5th. Politano in a 3-1 hole has to attack against Medina. The 3-1. Fouled high down the right field line. Full count with 2 away. Payoff pitch. And once again, another foul ball from Medina. Reached on an error and scored in the second. Struck out looking back in the 3rd. Another 3-2 from Politano. And it's another foul ball from Medina. He continues to fight, and we'll do it all over again on the next 3-2 offering. There was a right-hander getting loose for post in the bullpen. Nobody up now. The payoff pitch. And Medina spoils, just catching a piece of the 3-2 breaking ball from Politano. A deep breath on the mound. He comes home. Medina puts it in the air. Center field, in moving over into the right center field gap is Rodriguez. He's there, and he makes the grab for out number 3. An unconventional 1-2-3 inning for Politano, but it all goes in the book the same as we head into the bottom of the 5th. Post in front, 5-4 on the CACC Network. Michael Cardona leads off in the home half of the fifth. Then Dario Sosa to follow before Jesse Alfala in the top of the order looms as we come into the home half of the fifth inning. 5-4 the lead for Post over Bloomfield. And they've scored in 3 consecutive innings after Bloomfield plated 4 runs in the top of the second. It's been 5 unanswered from the Eagles of Post. Cardona leads off. He is 0 for 1. Walked and scored in the second, then had a sac fly in the third to drive in Justin Rivera. He's ahead 2-0. Dario Sosa is on deck, and then in the hole is Jesse Alfala. 2-0 is outside for Matthew Rouse. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Michael Cardona to kick off the bottom half of the fifth. Second walk for Cardona today. 9th walk by this Post order that has been issued by this Bloomfield pitching staff. Still in search of its first strikeout of the afternoon. Sosa takes the first pitch strike. And that's 0-1. Sosa's 0 for 0. A pair of walks so far in the second and in the third. The 0-1 drifts outside, 1-1. This will be the first full time through the order for Matthew Rao. Low pickoff throw, scooped up by Medina. One on and is outside, and it's 2-1. Two one. Sosa waves through it. Count is level, 2-2. Cardona over at first. Double play in depth up the middle for Bloomfield. Breaking ball hangs outside. Full count to Sosa. Wind starting to swirl at Waterbury Municipal Stadium. It's a sunny Friday afternoon. What's been a inconsistent week in terms of weather, as it has been most of this spring in the Northeast. Started out warm, dropped back down into the low 40s, high 30s on Wednesday as Sosa goes down swinging. First strikeout for this Bloomfield pitching staff comes from the left-hander in Matthew Rouse. Or Matthew Rao, excuse me. And his first full time through the order, just surrenders the 1 run in the 4th. RBI triple from Isaiah Velasco. Alfala swings on the first pitch. In between, hop over to third. Low throw, and the pick is made by Medina. Robert Jimenez had that scoop up that chopper from Alfala. Took some side spin and a nice pick on the backhand before having to fire a strike to get the speedy Alfala. There's 2 away as Cardona advances over to second. Rene Vega now steps in. Takes the first pitch ball. Vega has reached base a pair of times. A double in the first, then a walk with an RBI in the second. popped out to the first baseman Medina his last time up in the fourth. The 1-0 on the ground through the 5-6 hole off the glove of Klein and into left field. Cardona racing around third. He'll come in to score uncontested as the throw comes into second to hold Vega off from extra bases. But he pushes the advantage for post up to 2 as Cardona comes in to score. Vega goes on the first pitch. Burgos, the throw down, is late. And Vega's in safely with his third stolen base of the season. We'll see what the official ruling is. As Vega won't pick up an RBI, the error will be attributed to the left fielder Malachi Jones. Wasn't able to field it cleanly, and that gave Cardona time to come in and score. 2-0 now to Damaris Rodriguez. 1 for 2 with a run scored. Back in the fourth inning, that gave Post the lead after the RBI triple from Isaiah Velasco, who stands on deck. Rodriguez takes a strikeout on the outer half, and it's 2-1 with 2 away. He has Vega in scoring position at second. Shift is on with Medina playing off the bag at first. The breaking ball comes back in on the outside part of the plate. 2-2 to Rodriguez. The pitch home is high. Full count. 2 away. Vega at second. The lead up to 2 runs now for Post. They've answered that 4-run second inning from Bloomfield with 6 unanswered runs. Payoff pitch is in the dirt. Bounces away from Burgos. Doesn't get too far, and Vega will hold at second as Rodriguez works his second walk of the afternoon here in Game 1. And now Isaiah Velasco, who was about a foot away from a 2-run shot in the 5th on his triple that drove in Rodriguez, comes back into the lefty's batter's box. East Region Player of the Week, 6th time in Post history that they've had an honor or had a player pick up the distinction. First pitch breaking ball comes back inside and finds the zone for Rowe. Velasco fooled on the 0-1. Chases that pitch in the dirt, and it's 0-2. The 0-2. Velasco pulls it down the right field line, and it is a foul ball by inches. Velasco can't believe it, puts his hands on his head. He thought it was more extra bases and more runs for Post with the speed of Vega and Rodriguez. And the 0-2 bounces away from Burgos. Vega and Rodriguez will advance 1 base each. And now both sit in scoring position. And a 1-2 count with 2 gone. 1-2, Velasco flies it out towards right. And the right spot is Maldonado, and he makes the grab for out number 3. Post plates another run in the 5th. Cardona is coming in to score on the error from Jones. And they leave a pair stranded as we head to the 6th. 6-4, the lead for Post on the CACC network. Post heads to the bullpen to kick off the top of the 6th inning. Harvey Valera will come out, make his 6th appearance on the air. Holds a 10.80 ERA and an 0-1 record with 1 save. He's gone 8 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 11 runs, 10 of those earned on 16 hits. 4 Ks and 4 walks. Opponents batting an even .400 against the right-hander, who also plays in the field. First pitch, he jams inside against Burgos. Cardona will pick it up and take it to the bag himself for out number 1. That closes the book on Logan Politano, had a adventurous first 2 innings, giving up 4 runs, all those unearned in the 2nd inning. But he answered back with quick work in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Exits going 5 innings, as this one hit on the ground by Arazo, fielded by Alfala. He's had a tough day in the field, but he gets that one on a strike to first for out number 2. A pair of short-lived battles against Valera brings it back to the top of the order with Elder Maldonado. But for Politano, 5 innings, 5 hits given up, 4 runs, all of them unearned, as I said, 6 strikeouts and just 2 walks. As Valera fires in a first pitch strike at the top of the zone. .102 pitches by Politano. As Valera finds the zone once again, and it's quickly 0-2. The 0-2, fastball. Just a touch outside, and it's 1-2. One-two, fouled off by Maldonado. There's a pair of outs on as many pitches for Valera to start this 6th. And now the count evens at 2-2. 2-2, Maldonado on the ground. Alfala knocks it down. Sidearm throw to first. The stretch from Cardona. It's in time. A 1-2-3 inning on just 9 pitches for Harvey Valera in his first inning of work out of the bullpen. Sends us to the bottom of the 6th. Post in front, 6-4 on the CACC network. Bottom of the 6th from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. 6-4 the lead for Post over Bloomfield in Game 1 of this Friday afternoon doubleheader. A sunny day in Waterbury in the low 60s. It's been 6 unanswered runs for Post after Bloomfield took a 4-run lead in the top of the 2nd inning. Post has scored in each of the last 4 innings as Justin Rivera takes a first pitch strike from Matthew Rayo, the left-hander for Bloomfield. Rivera drives it the other way, down the right field line, and it slices foul. Rivera hit into a fielder's choice in the first, reached on an error and scored in the 3rd, and then grounded out in the 4th. Comes in riding a 2-game hit streak and has hits in 6 of his last 7. 0-2 is outside. Rayo pausing at the top. The 1-2. Rivera gets underneath it. Out towards right field. Long run for the second baseman, Arazo, and he gets there in time. The two-way guy, the pitcher and the fielder showing off the athleticism, gets over there for a big out number 1 to start the bottom of the 6th. Hayden Roberge now comes up, a fly and a pair of walks on his afternoon thus far. Rocking no batting gloves. The 1-0. In the zone, 1-1. Bloomfield this season, their pitching staff has just given up, on 2 occasions, have given up under double-digit runs. Last time coming at the end of March on the 26th against the College of Staten Island, falling 9-4, and the other in just their second game of the year against Pace, losing 7-1. Roberge, chopper foul, third base side. Levels the count at 2-2. Jalen Kelly stands on deck. Post has scored a run in each of the last 4 innings. 1 run in the second, 3 in the third, and then a single tally in the fourth and in the fifth. The 2-2 sails high to Roberge, and he's worked the count full with 1 out in the sixth. Here's the payoff delivery. Roberge, a check swing out towards right field, and that drops in for a base hit. An excuse me single for Hayden Roberge. Just went halfway around and guided it almost out towards right field. Puts a runner on with 1 away. He reaches base now for the 3rd straight time. First hit of the afternoon for him after back-to-back walks. Jalen Kelly now comes up 0 for 2. Takes the first pitch ball from Rayo. A fly out in the second and in the fourth. And then walked and scored back in the third. Came in as the tying run, scoring on a wild pitch. Roberge going on the 1-0. The throw is off the mark by Burgos. Missing towards where the second baseman would typically be, and have the cover on the backside is Klein. Puts Roberge in scoring position and a 2-0 count. 2-0 to Kelly in the dirt. Gets past Burgos. And Roberge will advance another 90 feet. Three-0 count to Kelly. He's taken all the way, and Rayo gets back in the zone, 3-1. Michael Cardona stands on deck. A pair of walks with a pair of runs scored. Also has a sac fly in the third. 3-1 outside to Kelly. He tosses his bat and puts runners on the corners. That is the 11th walk issued by this Bloomfield pitching staff. Just the 1 strikeout. That came by Rayo, striking out Dario Sosa last inning. And now Cardona comes up. He's been patient at the dish. Pair of 4-pitch walks. First pitch is outside to Cardona, 1-0.
I have one more baseball game left to figure out how RBIs work.
The 1-0, and Cardona fouls it off, right field side. Throw over to first. Kelly back in safely. A soft throw from Rayo, and Roberge took a few extra steps down the third base side. Another throw over to first. Medina comes out to meet it. Rayo comes set on the third base side of the rubber. Working with that lefty sidearm delivery. Jammed inside against Cardona. And it's caught by Klein on a soft pop-up. Puts two away in the home half of the sixth. Two runners on with Kelly at first and Roberge at third. Rayo doing a nice job there, jamming inside against Cardona. Dario Sosa now comes up. Another throw over to first. Kelly back safely. Jalen Kelly, not the biggest threat to steal, hasn't attempted to steal a base this season. Sosa pops it up out of play, 0-1. Sosa had a pair of walks in the second and the third and then struck out looking in the fifth against Rayo. He was looking to complete 3 1/3 innings of work. The 0-1 to Sosa. Beneath the zone, 1-1. The 1-1. This time it's high and 2-1 now. Sosa chops it foul and the count squares up 2-2 with 2 away. He's got Kelly at first, Roberge at second. If the inning continues, it's back to the top of the order with Jesse Alfala. 2-2 loops outside. Full count now to Sosa. Payoff pitch. Sosa fouls it off once again. Runners were going on the 3-2. Or at least Kelly was. Roberge will hold over at third and be conservative unless there's a pass ball. In the dirt. Sosa works a 2-out walk and he loads the bases. Back to the top of the order, Jesse Alfala. 0 for 3. Swings on the first pitch, hits it on the ground, and it hit Kelly on his way to third, and so that'll be out number 3. Runner's interference. And so we head to the 7th. Post leaves the bases loaded once again. 6-4 heading into the 7th on the CACC Network. Into the 7th inning we go. 6-4 the lead for Post over Bloomfield in Game 1 of this Friday afternoon doubleheader in the CACC. I'm Matt Scalza, delighted to have you with me today. 2-3-4 due up for Bloomfield in this away half of the 7th, facing Harvey Valera, who's in his second full inning of work out of the bullpen. Fields the first pitch fastball outside to Malachi Jones. Lined out to the second baseman Vega his first time up. Then an RBI single in the second. And reached on a throwing error from Jesse Alfala in the 4th. He fouls off the 1-0 and it's 1-1. Robert Jimenez and Frank Scara due up to follow. The 1-1. Jones fouls off another and it's 1-2. Bloomfield jumped out to a 4-0 lead in the second. And then it's been 6 unanswered runs by Post. They were held scoreless for the first time in 4 innings in the 6th as Jones squibs one off of home plate foul. Post brought one across in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and then a single tally in the 4th and in the 5th, but left the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th. The 1-2 from Valera. Another foul ball from Jones. A little hot to handle for the third base coach. The 1-2 drifts outside, 2-2. That's the head coach, John Brock, otherwise known as J.J. Brock, over at third base. 2-2 is low. Count runs full against Jones. Brock in his second season with Bloomfield, still in search of his first career win. A 3-2 from Jones. He gets underneath it and lifts a towering pop-up that'll stay on the infield. Rivera makes the underhand catch for out number 1. Brock and Bloomfield home to the longest active losing streak at any level at in the NCAA. 43 consecutive losses for Bloomfield. Their last win, May 3rd, 2023, against Jefferson, a 12-11 win. Valera with a first pitch breaking ball to start off the at-bat against Jimenez. Loops back to the inner half. The 0-1, a big swing and a miss from Jimenez, and it's 0-2. Valera with a 1-2-3 inning of work in the 6th, throwing just 9 pitches. The 0-2 was spiked in the dirt. Seven pitches alone in that at-bat against Jones for Valera. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down by way of the K goes Jimenez, and Valera has his first strikeout of the afternoon. 2 away in the top of the 7th. Elevating upstairs with a fastball, and Jimenez could not catch up. Valera will also play in the field, batting .238 this season. Starts off the at-bat to Frank Scara with a strike. .238, a home run and 11 RBIs for Valera in the field. He's played in 24 games. Scara, sharply hit ground ball. Alfala drops to a knee, picks it up, fires to first, and it's in time. A pair of 1-2-3 innings for Valera out of the pen. We head to the bottom of the 7th, and we'll stretch it out from Waterbury Municipal Stadium here on the CACC Network. The day is done for Matthew Rayo. Bloomfield going to the bullpen. They'll bring out Felix Rodriguez, the freshman right-hander out of the Dominican Republic. He's making his 6th appearance on the year, comes in with an even 27 ERA through 4 1/3 innings of work. Has surrendered 19 runs, 13 of those earned on 12 hits. Has struck out 2 and walked 10. Opponents are batting .462 against the freshman right-hander. For Rayo, he departs after 3 1/3 innings of work, giving up 2 runs on 4 hits, has a strikeout and 5 walks. He is the lone strikeout for the Bloomfield pitching staff today, as Rodriguez faces Rene Vega, who starts it off with the ball outside. Batting in the lefty's batter's box, the switch-hitting second baseman is 2 for 3 with a pair of RBIs. 0-1 drifts outside, and it's 0-2. Walks have been the story of the day for Post and for this Bloomfield pitching staff. 12 walks have been issued. 1 has been given to Vega today. Rodriguez finds the zone, and it's 2-1. Rodriguez last threw a week ago, 9 days ago even, against Lincoln on the 9th of April. That's upstairs to Vega, 3-1. Only went 1/3 of an inning, giving up 5 runs, 3 of them earned on 3 hits. Had 1 punch out and 3 walks. Vega in the driver's seat, 3-1. Turns on the 3-1, lifts it in the air, shallow left center field. Defenders moving in. It was 4 players, and none of them could get it. Frias dove at the last moment. Couldn't come up with it. Forget the Bermuda Triangle. I guess that'd be the Bermuda Square. As Klein and Arazo, the middle infielders, came out. Frias and Maldonado, the center and right fielders, came over, and no one could come up with it as Vega reaches Binks for the 3rd time today. Showing bunt was Rodriguez. Had to use the bat almost as a shield as that came brushing high and inside. Vega will pick up a double, his 2nd extra base hit of the day. Came into today with just 1 extra base hit. 0-1 to Rodriguez is above the zone, 1-1. Rodriguez is 1 for 2, a couple of walks and a run scored. Walked his last time up in the 5th. One breaking ball slips out of the hands of Rodriguez and hangs upstairs, 2-1. Bloomfield has been run ruled in each of his last 3 game ones. Has been run ruled a multitude of times this season. 2-1 to Rodriguez, fouled off 2-2. For Post to continue the trend, they have to score 8 runs in the 7th or the 8th to officially mercy rule Bloomfield. Game 1 slated to go the full 9 innings, and then Game 2 will just be 7. As that is high from Rodriguez, and the count runs full. "3-2 is inside Rodriguez. He works a walk to put runners on first and second. 3rd walk by Rodriguez today. Continues to get on base at an exponential clip. came in with a .540 on-base percentage today. That's good for second in the CACC. And that'll do it for Rodriguez. He faces two batters, gives up a double and a walk, and back to the bullpen goes Bloomfield. Coming in will be the left-hander, George Wanaka. We'll give him a moment to warm up and get you everything you need to know when we come back on the CACC Network. The left-hander, George Wanaka, comes out of the bullpen and onto the mound after Felix Rodriguez faces just two batters, giving up the double to Vega and the walk of Rodriguez. Wanaka, a freshman left-hander, stands at 5'8" out of Staten Island. Will make his 14th appearance of the year. Comes in 0-1 with a 13.83 ERA on the season. He'll face Isaiah Velasco. First pitch buzzes the tower, and Velasco leans out of the way, 1-0. Wanaka has thrown 13 2/3 innings of work, giving up 29 runs, 21 of those earned on 23 hits. 10 strikeouts to 17 walks. Opponents are batting .354 against the southpaw. 1-0 is high, and it's 2-0. Corners are in for Bloomfield with Medina and Jimenez on the infield grass are just a step behind it. Second baseman Arazo on the outfield grass. And the shortstop Klein holding closely to Vega. As the 2-0 sails high, and it's 3-0 now to Velasco. He's 1 for 4. Had the RBI triple in the fourth to give Post a 5-4 lead. Our first lead of the afternoon after Bloomfield jumped ahead, taking advantage of errors by Post in the top of the second to take a 4-0 lead. Velasco is taken all the way as that catches the top of the zone, 3-1. Tons of speed on the base paths in Vega at second and Rodriguez at first. The 3-1. Velasco pops it foul. Post can score 8 runs in this inning. They will mercy rule Bloomfield. 3-2 is high, and it's a walk to start off the afternoon for Wanaka. First 3 hitters have all reached base in the bottom of the 7th for Post. Justin Rivera now comes up. He's 0 for 4 with a run scored. Reached on an error in the third. Time is called by Burgos. And we'll have another mound visit from Bloomfield. And they're going back to the bullpen. One batter faced for Wanaka. He walks Velasco, and that will be the day for him. So now it's a right-hander coming out of the bullpen. We'll figure out who it is. Get you everything we need to know when we come back on the CACC Network. So after Wanaka faces one batter, Bloomfield goes back to the bullpen, and it's Josue Cueto coming in. Making his 13th appearance on the season. Cueto, a freshman out of Patterson, New Jersey. Another right-hander comes in as the infield moves in, and Justin Rivera takes first pitch ball outside. As I said for Cueto, 13th appearance, comes in 0-3 with a 12.52 ERA. Has surrendered 37 runs, 32 of those earned on 32 hits in 23 innings of work. 1-0 is outside, and it's 2-0. He has struck out 8 and walked 25 opponents, batting .337 against the right-hander. He's given up 7 home runs this season. That's the most by any pitcher on the Bloomfield staff. 2-0. Rivera drives it the other way, out towards right field. Making the grab is Maldonado. Tagging from third is Vega. He'll come in to score. And Post adds another run on the sac fly from Justin Rivera. Makes it 7-4 Eagles in the bottom of the 7th. Just the first out in the 7th as Hayden Roberge now comes up. Damaris Rodriguez is at second and Isaiah Velasco is at first. Righty on righty against Roberge. Cueto finds the zone on the first pitch to Roberge, who's 1 for 2 today. Has a run scored and has walked a pair of times. Has also stolen 2 bases. Throw back to second. Got away from Erazo and Backing it up was Klein to make sure Rodriguez didn't advance any further. The 0-1. Roberge turns, drives it deep out towards left field. Jones going back. It is off the top of the wall. Rodriguez will score with ease. Velasco motoring around third, coming in to score a 2-run double for Hayden Roberge. And he pushes the advantage up to 5. It's now 9-4 post as Roberge picks up his 22nd and 23rd RBI of the season. Forget feet, it was mere inches from being a 3-run home run for Hayden Roberge. Would have marked his first home run of the season. And he now continues his hot streak. A 6-game hitting streak. Another RBI that marks 4 of his last 6 games he's picked up an RBI. And he's walked in 6 of his last 7. Looking at today as a whole, as Jalen Kelly takes the first pitch ball from Cueto. And Cueto steps off. The third pitcher of the inning for Bloomfield. 0-1 to Kelly is outside, and it's 1-1. Roberge with his 7th double of the season. Kelly fans on the 1-1 breaking ball, and it's 1-2. The 1-2. Kelly swings and misses. It's a drop third. Goes scampering down the first base side. And Burgos will make the throw to Medina in time for out number 2. Roberge will advance over to third. First strikeout for Cueto. Second on the day for the Bloomfield staff, excuse me. And so Roberge 90 feet away from putting post into double figures as Michael Cardona takes the first pitch ball low from Cueto. Cardona pops the 1-0 out of play. 1-1. That double from Roberge does close the book on the stat lines for Felix Rodriguez. He gives up 2 runs, both earned on 1 hit and a walk, and George Wanaka also gets charged with an earned run as well. He was responsible for Velasco as Rodriguez let Vega and Rodriguez get on board. The 1-1 to Cardona. Pulls it on the ground, third base side. Picked up by Jimenez, long throw into first. Medina came off the bag and then stepped back on it for out number 3. Post adds a trio of runs highlighted by the 2-run double from Hayden Roberge that was mere inches from a 3-run home run. As we head into the 8th, it's 9-4 Eagles over the Bears on the CACC Network. Into the 8th inning, it's a 9-4 post lead over Bloomfield. Eagles add 3 runs in the bottom half of the 7th. Sac fly from Justin Rivera and then a 2-run double from Hayden Roberge has pushed the post advantage up to 5 as Harvey Valera comes back out and deals the first pitch strike to Joseph Klein, the shortstop. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Bears in the away half of the 8th. 0-1 from Valera, just a touch above the letters 1-1. Bloomfield used 3 pitchers to get through the bottom half of the 7th. Klein, a sharply hit line drive, scooped up on a hop by Vega. Sidearm toss to first is in time. A smooth play on a tough play to handle for Vega. Puts one away in the top of the 8th. All 4 runs for Bloomfield coming in the 2nd, all of them unearned against Logan Politano. Valera starts off a strike to Andres Frias, center fielder. He's reached base all 3 times today, a pair of base hits in his last 2 at-bats. An awkward swing, and he waves through the 0-1. Valera looking to send Frias back to dugout for the first time today. The 0-2 ramps up the heat with a fastball and just moves outside. 1-2. One two goes back to the high heat, and this time Frias lays off at 2-2. Valera comes home, goes back upstairs, and this time Frias couldn't lay off it. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Valera, and there's 2 away in the 8th. It's been 8 up and 8 down for Valera out of the pen. Comes in with a breaking ball against Medina. He gets it in the zone for a called strike. Valera's had both of his pitches working. Has been starting off with fastballs, and he switches it up there. Goes back to the off-speed once again, and Medina comes up empty. Quickly 0-2. Valera comes home. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Medina. Goes down on 3 pitches. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Valera. And it's another 1-2-3 inning out of the pen. 9 up and 9 down. We head to the bottom half of the 8th. Post in front, 9-4 on the CACC Network. 9-1-2 due up in the bottom of the eighth for Post. Dario Sosa leads off, and then it's back to the top of the order with Jesse Alfala and Rene Vega. As Josue Cueto comes out for his first full inning of work, even though he got all 3 outs in the bottom of the seventh. Came in after 3 batters, and Bloomfield using 3 pitchers to get through that 7th inning. Post plated 3 runs, sac fly from Justin Rivera, and a 2-run double from Hayden Roberge. As Sosa comes up, he's 0 for 1. Has a trio of walks on his afternoon. A late swing on the breaking ball from Cueto. And it's 0-1. Harvey Valera on the mound for Post has been dealing since he's come out of the pen in the 6th inning. It's been 9 up and 9 down for him. Sosa jammed inside, and he pulls the 0-1 foul. 3 punch-outs for Valera, his first time through the Bloomfield order, including back-to-back strikeouts to end the top of the 8th. The 0-2 is in the dirt from Cueto. The 1-2 to Sosa. Skips in the dirt 2-2. Patience has been the name of the game for Post hitters. 14 walks have been worked by Post or issued by the Bloomfield staff, however you want to word it, as Sosa turns on the 2-2 and he'll pull this foul. Got it out over the fence, but just pulled it a little bit out in front of it. Sosa does have a home run on the season. Two. Sosa chopper to third. Jimenez scoops it up on the backhand. Strong throw on to first is in time for out number 1. And it's back to the top of the order. Jesse Alfala coming up on what's been a tough day for him all around. Has had 4 errors in the field, and he's 0 for 4 at the dish. Takes the first pitch outside, and it's 1-0. The 1-0 is high, and it's 2-0. In the zone, 2-1. Alfala off the end of the bat, flares it out towards right field. There's Maldonado, and he makes the underhand grab for out number 2. Bloomfield has not been run ruled in just 3 games this season. At least those that have gone more than the designated 7-inning game. Of course, game 2 in these doubleheaders normally is 7 innings to begin with. As the 0-1 comes in, Vega drives it the other way, and it's out of reach for Jimenez. Rene Vega, another base hit. This one's bobbled by Jones out and left. Vega will advance on his way to second. Looked like Vega was going the whole way when he was making the turnaround first, and we'll see how they rule it. They will give him a double. His third double of the day in game one. Rodriguez showed bunt, pulled back, bounced away from Burgos. Vega didn't know it, punching himself that he didn't try and advance over to third. Vega came in with just one extra base hit, one double on the season. He's got 3 today as that one bounces past Burgos going up the third base side. And actually, they'll say that it hit Rodriguez, so Vega will run back to second, and Rodriguez is aboard on a hit by pitch. He has reached 5 out of the 6 times he's come up today. Each of the last 4 times he's come up. 3 by walks, now 1 by a hit by pitch, and the other being a single back in the 4th. And now Isaiah Velasco comes up. Velasco is 1 for 4. The run scored in an RBI. He walked and scored his last time up in the 7th. First pitch is high and outside from Cueto. Velasco, very good player, was spent the last few years at Cal Berkeley, didn't get much playing time with the Golden Bears, so he transfers across the country from the West Coast to the East Coast and has been a big part of this Post offense this season. As I had mentioned before, was named East Region Player of the Week, the 6th Eagle in Post's baseball history to receive the honor. First hitter since 2023. Graduate pitcher Matt Seaman picked up the honor last season. The 1-1 gets past Burgos. Vega will advance to third. He was thinking about going all the way home, but gets the stop sign from head coach Ray Skold over at third. Rodriguez will go over to second. Velasco in a 2-1 count with 2 on, both in scoring position. Rodriguez at second, Vega at third. The 2-1 to the plate. Finds the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Two-two, swing and a miss. Velasco couldn't catch up to the high fastball. He goes down swinging, and we head to the 9th. Bloomfield looking for a rally. Valera looking to close the door when we come back on the CACC Network. Into the ninth inning, 9-4 the lead for Post. The Eagles looking for 3 more outs to take game 1 of this Friday afternoon doubleheader to kick off Easter weekend on a sunny Friday afternoon in Waterbury. We've crossed the 3-hour mark in game 1 between Bloomfield and Post. Harvey Valera coming out for what will be his 4th inning of work, and he has been stellar out of the bullpen. He starts off Burgos with a heater right at the bottom rail. 0-1. It's been back-to-back strikeouts for Valera to end the 8th. He's up to 3 total. The 0-1, another fastball. That's another strike to Burgos, who's had a tough day behind the plate. He's 0 for 2 at the dish. A walk, a strikeout looking, and a ground out. As the afternoon line, the 0-2 from Valera. Tugs it into the dirt, 1-2. 8, 9, and 1 due up for Bloomfield in this 9th inning. Burgos flies it out towards center. Rodriguez ranges to his left, and he makes the grab for out number 1. It has been 10 up and 10 down for Valera out of the bullpen. He's been simply stellar since coming in the 6th inning after Logan Politano went 5 innings, giving up 4 runs, none of them earned on 5 hits, with 6 strikeouts and 2 walks. Big swing and a miss by Arazo on the first pitch heater from Valera. It's been a steady dose of fastballs early in counts from Valera. It gives another to Arazo, and this one is driven out into left center field for a base hit. Mirquí Arazo with his 2nd base hit of the afternoon. He's 2 for 4, and that breaks up what has been a perfect outing out of the bullpen for Valera. First hit, first base runner given up. Double play depth up the middle as the top of the order comes back up with Maldonado. He was waiting for the fastball. Instead, he got an off-speed, started in, and broke back in over the plate. Froze him. As Valera gets ahead 0-1. And the breaking ball that Maldonado has to wait on, and then pops it up out of play. 0-2. Another breaking ball. And he gives Maldonado the sword. Absolutely fooled. 3 straight breaking balls from Valera. Says good morning, good afternoon, and good night to Elder Maldonado on 3 pitches. And he sits 1 out away from picking up the win here for Post in game 1. 4th strikeout by Valera, and that was straight filth against Maldonado. Malachi Jones takes the first pitch ball, and it's 1-0. Fouls it off, and it's 1-1. Jones lined out, singled with an RBI in the 2nd, reached on an error in the 4th, and then popped out to the 3rd baseman Rivera's last time up in the 7th. 1-1's in the dirt, 2-1. The 1-1 is a touch high, and it's 2-1 to Jones. Three and 1, excuse me. As Jones fouls off that one, and now the count runs full with 2 away. Arazo over at first. He's the first base runner for Bloomfield since the 5th inning when Andres Frias singled, and he was caught stealing. Whole lot of zeros for Bloomfield over the last 6 innings. Valera looking to put up 1 more. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Jones down on strikes. And that will close the book on game 1. Harvey Valera, 5 strikeouts out of the bullpen. He cruises Post to the win in Game 1. They make it back-to-back wins after the split on Tuesday against Jefferson, and they'll look for the sweep in Game number 2, which will be coming up in 20 to 30 minutes time here from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. 9-4 the final in Game 1. Vega and Roberge, both with a pair of RBIs, and the combination of Logan Politano and Harvey Valera. Stellar on the mound as Post takes Game 1 9-4 to kick off this 4-game homestand on Easter weekend against Bloomfield. But that'll do it in Game 1. Game 2 coming up in 20 to 30 minutes time here from Waterbury Municipal Stadium. I'll see you then.